वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देवा सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Salam everybody, welcome once again. So today's study circle, as we all know, the topic is looking for a best friend, and we have our two brothers here who will be moderating the session today. None other than our very own brother Harvind Rao and brother Mohan Ram. So thank you to the both of them for willing to conduct the session today. And before we start the session, some few general guidelines just for all of us to follow so that we'll have a smooth session today. First one, as you can see on the screen, please turn off your microphones and your video when you're not speaking. If you have a question, then please do turn on your microphones, or you can make use of the chat box, which will be monitored. Also, please share your thoughts and your questions via the chat box. If you have any thoughts, any inputs that you would like to share, please do so via the chat box. And also, there will be a few interactive websites that will be posted to you via the chat box. Once those websites the links are shared in the chat box, please feel free to click on those links and follow along with what is being on offer on the website. Okay, so today's session is going to be very interactive. It is going to be I think it's going to be a very nice, light-hearted and very interesting session today. So without wasting much more time, I shall pass on the floor to Brother Harvind Rao and Brother Mohan Ram. So brothers, it is for you now. Thank you. Sairam.
Sairam, everyone. So for our first part of the study circle, we would just like to get your opinion and your feedback on who do you think is your best friend. So do share your thoughts with us. So basically, we have this link on menti.com. It's a new site called menti.com. So if you're connected on mobile, what you need to do is to type in the your phone browser www.menti.com and then enter the code 602826. Then you will see a set of questions, and then you are required to answer the questions. If you are connected on laptop, you can just click on the link that will be shared on the chat box. So if you see Mohan and I has just shared the link, so just click on that link. Let us know if you have any technical issues, then we'll try to assist you as much as possible. So while you open, you should be able to see. Yes, answers are already coming in. Very good. So as you can see, as you're typing in the answers, the respective answers will load in the screen. So far we have people saying their best friend is their own self, wife, that's interesting, my dog, my parents, Swami, my husband, family, yes, my mom, very good. Keep the answers coming in. So we have 17 responses so far. You may answer as many times as you wish. Okay, interesting. Keep more answers coming in. Handphone. Okay, that's a very interesting best friend to have in this modern age, especially. My inner voice. Very good. My games. Yes, in MCO time, I mean, we all have different best friends right now. So interesting. Car. Yes. Meditation. Okay, very interesting answer. Any other answers? Sister. Yes. True. Family. 24 responses so far. Very good. My Atma. Yes. True. Very close friend. Okay, very close friend is the best friend. It's like a direct translation. Very interesting. Nice. Keep it coming. "25 responses so far. So we'll give it 2 minutes more for everybody to answer. Anybody having any challenges, please do type in the chat box.
Brother Harvin,
Yes.
just to check, once we're done, we can just close the tab, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, keep the tab open because the next link will be loaded automatically. So once I load to the next question, you can just refresh the screen and then answer the next question. So keep the tab
Okay.
open.
Okay.
So I'm very interested to know யார் இந்த மாலினி இந்த தமிழ் படம் மாலினியா
Sounds like a typo.
வர்ணமாயிரம் மாலினியா இல்ல
Okay, interesting answers.
I think we have a lot of people have already answered.
Okay, very good. So we see a lot of different opinions in terms of who's our best friend, right? So in the study circle, in the upcoming slides, we are going to discover who is our real best friend. So when we come to that question, we shall answer it together. Okay, so moving on to the next one. So we're all curious, right? People always say that, hey, you are this kind of friend. You always the right kind of friend for me. You always tell your opinion to me, right? But do we really know what kind of friend we are to others? Some of you might know that you are, this is in a friendship means I'm like this. I'm this character in a friendship, right? But most of us are often in a dilemma, right? What kind of a friend we are? We always ask ourselves this question, right? So it's time for us to find out together what kind of friend are we. So basically, we have a URL to share. Can somebody share the URL?
Yes, Arvind, I've posted in the chat.
Okay, so just click on that URL. It'll bring you to a site where you need to answer 10 questions. So I'll just share the questions with everybody. So 10 set of questions. So don't think too much. Just go ahead and click on the answers that you think best fits yourself. So the first question, you overhear a group of people talking negatively about your friend. What do you do? So just click on one of these 3 answers. Right? And then you move on to the next question. Your friend asks to house sit while goes on business trip. You see his journal on the nightstand. You decide to do what? So similarly, keep on answering all the questions. So once you have done answering all the 10 questions, you can click on the test results button here. Right? Let's go through. Let's give it some time for everybody to answer.
Maybe you can read the questions, Arvind.
Yeah, sure. So let's read the third question together. Your friend shares a secret about herself. and asks you never to tell anyone, you do what? So this is a very moral dilemma type of question. So whether you tell somebody or take it to the grave or immediately post on social media, I think this is the thing that's happening nowadays a lot. So what's your answer? Don't think about it too much. Just click on whatever that comes to your mind. Then fourth question is, your friend shares a private matter with you about another person, but asks you never to tell anyone. You do what? So the first one is about themselves. The next one is about somebody else, right? So moving on to the fifth question, you and your friend work together, and both of you are up for a promotion. Your friend gets a promotion, but you do not. Your behavior around your friend following the announcement is ghostly, means you sort of like, be very like how to say you just ghost on that person for some time. You just ignore the person for some time and then go and congratulate them after you are okay with the situation, right? Then less teller means you are angry with that person, or you are genuinely happy for that person. So that is the answers given here. Sixth question is, your friend shares a business idea with you, but you don't think he or she is cut out for it. Your response is what? Seventh question, you get a call at 3 a.m. from your friend letting you know that her parrot died. What would you do? So this is a very interesting answer to know also. So whether you let it to go to voicemail because sleep is important, or you answer the question, or let them cry and then console the person. Next question is, your friend has opposing political view from you and the majority of the people in your friend circle. Others begin to mock her for her views. You do what? Right? Ninth question is, you and your friends are out for a dinner catching up. During the entire night, you are exchanging texts with love interest. Your friend asks you to put the phone away. You respond by doing what? And the last question is, your friend just started working on his degree and has told you about the classes he's taking and his plans after graduating. What do you do? Either you forget what your friend said, or you keep on asking them about how are they doing, right? So these are the 10 questions. So once you are done, you just click on test results and it will give you a set of options. So basically, I hope all of you are done. Anybody need more time? Please let us know in the chat box.
Oh, please let us know if you are done. I
Yeah.
think that's also helpful.
Yeah.
And did you get any interesting answers? So if you are willing to share, you can also post in the chat box. So we see a few people are done. Thank you.
You can share your results as well. You can copy paste into the chat box.
Okay, Chandramouli shared. He got. Harvin, you wanna?
Yeah, great friend. You exhibit the right combination of trust, capitalization, social support, and responsiveness. Right, very good. Most of you are very good friends. Good. Any other different answers? So what this statement basically says is, in a friendship, you always give respect, trust, and capitalization, and social support for each other, and you're always responsive in your friendship, right? So that's what's really important in a friendship.
So we have a few people just join. I would just post the link to that question again. So for those who just joined, we are just doing a quick test on what kind of friend we are. So if you click the link, you'll answer quick 10 questions just to catch up.
Yep, sure.
Those who just joined, Sairam and welcome. Welcome to our second online study circle.
So as Mohan mentioned, just click on that link and then it'll bring you to this site. Then based on that, you'll need to answer 10 questions. And then once you are done, just click on test results. It will basically show what kind of a friend are you.
Okay.
Good. Any other different answers?
Yeah, Sandhya just shared, Harvin.
Okay, very good. Good friend, but could improve in one or more areas of respect, trust, capitalization, social support, or responsiveness. Right? So that's an interesting answer. So basically, there's room for improvement in your friendship, right? So two different responses so far we see. Interesting. Anybody got any other responses? Right. So you can take time and answer this. In the meantime, shall we move on, Mohan?
Yes, sure, Harveen.
Okay, right. So let's move on to the next part of the study circle, and I hand over to Mohan for the next part.
Yeah, Sairam everyone. So again, nice to see all of you, even though I can only see names on the screens and a lot of letters. So next, what we're gonna do, the first question we answered, who is your best friend? And then we asked what kind of friend we are. Now we want to ask all of you, what do you look for in a best friend? So if you are just joined, please click the link in the chat box and you will see there is a link, menti.com link. So for those who just joined, before we go to the next question, this was the answers that we saw previously in terms of who is your best friend. A lot of people are friends with themselves. So I guess they're very happy during MCO because they have their friend with them all the time. Okay, let's go to the second question. What do you look for in a best friend? So type the answer into the space that you will get when you click on the link. So we are talking about anything, qualities of the best friend, or do you look for your best friend to look like you, must have the same color, eyes, those are physical attributes, or you can also share any other types of characteristics. So far I see trustworthy, being truthful, someone who's open, adaptable, kind, understanding, loving, funny, same thinking, okay, accepting the way I am, a listener. So you can enter more than one answer. I'm sure you have more than one criteria that you're looking for in a friend. Caring and sharing, a listener, someone who has faith in you, yes, understanding no matter the situation, no drama. Especially if you're calling your friend about your date parrot at 3 a.m. in the morning, then you don't want any drama from your friend, right? Or you don't want a friend who has a drama like that. Moral support, thoughtful, and then I think there's someone who will be there for me, always trustworthy, no gossips. So if you've already entered, if you can just quickly click in the chat box and say you're done, then we will know that most of you are done. So we can see that, thank you, Chandramouli, Dashana, Anushka, Madhi, Shangari, Auntie Mano, I think. 50 years of friendship tells unique stories. So this is very long and deep friendship, loving, kind, trustworthy, and thoughtful. So one thing is clear, we are not looking for friends who bring us down, right? Who are jealous of us. We're not looking for that kind of things in a best friend, right? So we've got about 34 responses. So I believe most of you are done. So let me go to the next question. Okay, before that, Harvin, someone who is awesome, okay, sees the good in you. So please keep in mind the words that you're seeing here, because this will be important for the later part of our study circle today. Okay, and I think we're still getting one more answer there, Harvin. Trustworthy, truthful, listen to me, thoughtfulness, and reliable. Right. Okay. So if you go to the next question, now we need to hear your voice. Okay. So you've seen the questions that we have asked. Who is your best friend? And some of you said inner conscience, Swami, God. Some of you actually gave specific names. Some of you told about a specific person like wife or husband and so on. And then after that, we looked at ourselves, what kind of friend we are, and then what we look for in a best friend. And in that chat text box, you've seen different types of characters. The question we want to ask you, and here you don't need to enter in your phone or laptop, we want you to share verbally why we should have Swami as our best friend. So if you could please unmute yourself and introduce or just share your name and then tell us in the call here why we should have Swami as our best friend. And Sairam Auntie Chitra, go ahead, Auntie.
Yes, I'm good, thank you.
Yes, Auntie, why we should have Swami as our best friend?
Swami is there with you, above you, below you, beside you, and he is with you all the time. And Swami is there when through your through thick and thin, through happiness, sorrow, and he is an ideal friend, one that you can rely on at all times. Thank you, Sairam.
Thank you, Auntie. Very well said. So Auntie Chitra mentioned about the famous quotation from Swami, right? He will say, I'm in you, around you, above you, below you, in front of you, behind you. And he's always there, right? Anyone else? Why we should have Swami as our best friend? Please unmute yourself.
I'll go now.
Sairam, brother Madi. Go ahead, Madi.
Okay, why I should have Swami as my best friend is because you can never go wrong with having Swami as a best friend. That's number one. And number two, another quotation that I like is I see this every day in my altar. So it says, develop friendship with God and you'll have the whole world under you. So for me, God is Swami. So yeah.
Very well said, Madi. Thank you for sharing. So you can never go wrong with Swami. I wonder why, right? And once you develop friendship with God, everything else is given to you. So you see a lot of common points here. How about anyone else? We like to also hear more. Sairam, Aldeshana?
My point of view, I understand the question is about Swami, why you taking Swami as a best friend, but put it this way, whether it is Swami or any other God that you have taken as a best friend, it's a person that you always see when in your altar every day that you won't miss to see him, and whether it goes wrong or doesn't go wrong, it's okay because he is always there to guide you, and you will learn something, a lesson for each incident that takes place in your life. So I find him, whether you want to call Muruga or whether you're going to call any god form, and even Swami himself. I believe that he always be there to guide you, to tell you something in your life, so that you can the person can uplift your spiritual path lah. That's my point of view lah. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Right. So, Brother Aridas just mentioned that you can put God here in the place of Swami, and he'll always be there guiding you every day, right? And you see him every day in the morning as you wake up and so on. And also you have him with you every day. How about others? Why we should have Swami as our best friend? Sairam?
Okay. For me, Swami is a best friend because he's always there to be a best listener. I don't need the time limitation or an appointment to meet him. Anytime in the day, he's there always. So, best friend for me. Sairam.
Yes. Thank you, Sister Shamini. So Sister Shamini just made a very important point about availability, right? Because when you look for a friend, if someone says he or she is your friend, but they are not available, and available mean not just, when you call them, they can come, even when you're sitting in front of them, that they are paying attention to you. So Sister Shamini just mentioned that Swami is always available, right? You don't need to only look for him on a certain time, 24/7 hotline. Thank you, sister. How about others? Auntie Nirmala just mentioned in the chat box that Because he is the truth. Auntie, do you want to explain a little bit more by unmuting yourself? Why, what do you mean by he is the truth? Are you in the call, Auntie? How about, okay, while waiting for that, if Auntie Nirmala can say something, if not, how about others? Why we should have Swami as our best friend? I haven't heard anyone talk about trustworthiness yet, because I saw that quality coming up a lot.
Sairam.
Sairam, Uncle Prem,
Okay.
go ahead.
Yeah. I'm using Auntie Sudha's. Auntie Sudha's phone. Okay. So I mentioned best friend as Swami because Swami is always with us, in us, around us, everything. And then Swami is something that when you need, he's always there. When you're sleeping, he's always there. He's always with us. He's in our heart, And the thing is that at the time of death, also people say, "Oh, Rama, Krishna," and all that. You'll be saying names of gods. Even at that time of death. So Swami is always with us. His father, mother, everything. And Swami is the one who doesn't fight with us. He's always supporting us. So even how angry you are, you shout at him, he was always smiling. What kind of friend? He's a fantastic friend he has. Even my wife also not like that. If I shout at my wife, she will shout back at me. If I shout at Swami, Swami will smile at me. See? So he's my best friend.
So Uncle Prem just made a. Auntie Sudha, do you have anything to add to that?
He always tell like that. I was thinking, when we have our normal friends, definitely sometimes we can have misunderstandings. A lot of sometimes we'll, think that that is not up to our expectation. All this, but when God as our friend, everything is there. No complaints, nothing. He's always will be there with us. That's all.
Thank you, Auntie
Thank you,
Sudha.
Mohan.
Yeah, so I think very, very insightful points, because firstly, Uncle Prem talked about regardless of whatever emotional state we are in, but when we approach God, God is always smiling, right? Or when we approach Swami, Swami is always smiling. So even when you're angry, this friend is not the one that add fuel to fire, but actually calms you down. And Auntie Sudha again made the point about this. God is the only friend that you always there for you. And a couple of Sairam, Auntie Nirmala, you want to say something? I think you went on unmute.
Yeah, Sairam. Well, he's the truth. Truth means nothing much to say, that he's everything. He's everything. He's there for whatever you want. He's there to give and give you the right answers. What he says will be the truth. What he does will be the truth. So he will be the best friend ever.
Right. So thank you, Auntie. So
thank you, Sarah.
You can also look.
I think you muted yourself.
Yes, you can also look at it this way. I think truth, like for example, Auntie Nirmala just mentioned, is all the truth. So if you're confused, if you don't know where to go, what to do, this friend, if Swami is your friend, then he gives you the answers that will be the right answer. There's also a couple of comments in the chat box. Auntie Ambika said, Swami always says that your only true friend is God. Yes. And Angela said that Swami is our built friend within us, inbuilt friend within us. Even when there is no one around us, beside us, he is there within us. So today's session, pretty much all of you have answered all the different aspects of Swami. Is there anyone else, before we go on to the next part, would like to share why we should have Swami as our best friend? Maybe I want to ask Sister Anushka. Anushka?
Sairam. I think that a good friend is someone who changes you to a better person. Mm-hmm. And there's no greater person than Swami who can lead me into self-transformation. There's and he just knocks you right away. At the same time, he has that motherly love. And the most important thing is you can tell any secrets to Swami. He does not share it to anyone else. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma. Yes, I think I heard someone else. Is it Uncle Subra? You were trying to say something?
Yeah.
Uncle, there is a feedback.
Sairam.
Sairam, Uncle, go
my
ahead.
this thing is actually we are taking like Swami is a best friend, true. But I'm thinking, suppose you have a real problem you want to tell, So definitely you talk to Swami. But the thing is, how he is going to respond to you. So the faith is very much important here, I think. Really, you must really believe that Swami is going to help you. So when we open out, like, you very difficult to get it right. I mean, answer straight away. I mean, you're lucky, maybe in a dream you might get, or maybe your vision is very good. But Swami always, you want to give the response or things like that. You have to look for, maybe it might come to another friend, the answer you want, maybe through a book. This type of things you must have. Because sometimes we miss when Swami wants to communicate with you, when we don't open up with other source, then we might be thinking, why Swami not answering, you see? So that part, how we really going to open up and wait for the answers, that's a difficult part. But we have to look in between the lines, maybe, really open up, you'll get, yeah, like this is the answer I want. Things like it happens when you really, so when you say, Swami, my best friend, you must really have the faith, 100% faith. If not, I think it's a bit difficult. Okay, Sairam.
Thank you, Uncle. Very, very necessary point, because as Uncle just mentioned, sometimes you have a best friend, but if you choose to ignore your best friend, then the best friend cannot help you, right? So in this case, if Swami is our best friend, but we do not put any effort to connect with that best friend, then you cannot get the guidance from the best friend. So even if Swami is in you, around you, above you, beside you, but if you don't try to make the effort to connect, then you will not be able to get the benefit of having Swami as your best friend. And then before I move to the next part, there one more point mentioned in the chat box. Sister Ishwari said, he never leaves us at any point in time in our lives, although he tests or teaches us in many ways. There's always a justice behind it. Takes time to understand that, but it always surely be the best one for us. Right. So sometimes we don't feel that Swami is our best friend, because Sister Anushka just mentioned, this is the best friend who actually give you a lot of challenges, right? Like these best friends, sometimes you feel you make Swami as your best friend, you get more challenges. And it takes a lot of faith to understand why those things are happening. And to Sister Ishwari's point also, that there is a real reason behind it, right? And the next thing is he provides a kind of support that is invincible. Yes, he's always there. So let me pass it on to Brother Harwin. Let us share a couple of points from our observation in terms of what Swami says about having God as our best friend. Harwin?
Yes. So one thing that almost everybody said is availability of Swami, right? That whenever we want him in our life, he's always there, right? So that's how Swami defines it. So the term friend in Sanskrit is called Maitri. So Swami split that word Maitri into two different parts. The first one is Mai, which refers to ourselves, and then the term 3, the number 3. So the 3 stands for one who remains with us as our friend in the past, in the present, and in the future. So we need to ask ourselves, right? Almost all the relationships that we come across in life, they do not fit into all these 3 columns. Maybe some of them are in our past. Right now, maybe don't have contact with them, so they cannot be our best friend, right? Somebody who's there currently with us in the present, we don't know whether they will be there in the future or not. So the only person that fits all these 3 criteria is Swami himself. So that's how Swami defines the term Maitri. So the take home is basically you take this term Maitri, one who remains with us in the past, present, and future. So moving on to the next slide.
I just wanted to add, I think one way we can interpret this as past, present, future in this life. but I think Swami probably meant even more than that. Probably Swami meant past life, present life, future life, right? So when I first heard this, I interpreted this as whatever lives we have been through, and if you believe in rebirth, I think that in that case, then there's only one person or one entity that can fit this past, present, and future.
That's true. Basically, all other relationship doesn't even stand a chance, like if that's what Swami meant. So interesting to note. So moving on to the next part. So let's listen to what Swami has said about friendship, right? So in one of Swami's discourses, this is a book called My Dear Students, Volume 2, which Swami has dedicated especially for students. And in this, there's two very interesting quotations that Swami has said. So let me read it out to you. In this world, who is there to love you? Do you think your mother loves you? Do you think your father, brother, wife, or husband loves you? It is true that they all love you. However, in their love, there is at least some trace of selfishness. Without having desires for any reward, there's only one who really loves you, and that is God. Thus, no friend is higher than God in this world, as God does not have the slightest trace of selfishness. So this is another very interesting point and a very relevant point, right? Almost everybody, all our relationships in life, they have some sort of selfishness to love you, right? So let's say we take the example of a mother's love. A mother loves the child, no doubt, but does the mother love another person's child as the same? No, right? Probably lesser. So only God, he loves everybody equally, and whoever wants him, he's always available there. So that's a very interesting point for us to take home. Anybody wants to share anything on this?
So I just want to share that we just shared a couple of quotation from Swami regarding having God as your best friend. The first one, if you look at past, present, and future, and we talked about not necessarily in one lifetime, but multiple lifetime. And why is that important? If you reflect upon it, someone who knows you from the past, will they know you as well as someone who just met you today? I mean, take a moment to think about that. Someone who knows you, who knows your future, would they be able to give you better advice with someone who does not know about your future? So I think that's the, if you dwell deeper into the concept of Maitri, then you would understand what is Swami trying to share here. And the second point on this selfishness, I think we had a discussion among ourselves. Whether, is it really true? What do you all think? Do you agree with Swami that all the love that we have in our current relationship has some trace of selfishness? Or is selfishness too strong a word? We would like to hear your opinion. You can unmute yourself and share with us your thoughts. What do you think about this quotation from Swami regarding in all the love relationship that we have, there is some trace of selfishness? So Brother Murthy just said selfishness do present in us. Some sort of expectation will be there. Yeah, யாருக்கு unmute பண்ண மாட்டீங்க?
Maybe Aridas Anna wants to share verbally.
Yeah, Saram.
Sairam.
Yeah, I mean, every living being, even the time when Harvin said about, I was thinking at first, can the parents' love can be equal as God's love? But then, yes, even parents also, they, of course, they have certain expectation that your son has to be in such a way, or your daughter has to be in such a way that at the end of the day they want something, maybe in a sense that they have to marry according to what they want, or certain type lah. Maybe they work according to what they want, or they go for a class or music to any classes or extra classes according to what the parents have in their mind rather than what their children have. But in God, no, I don't think so. They don't expect anything. Whether you love them or you don't love also, they will keep on loving you. So that's nice about God. So I mean, they never anything. I mean, they don't think anything in return. I mean, they don't ask you anything. Very, like I said, they don't have any expectation from us, but we only expect a lot of things from them. Yeah.
Thank you, Anna, for sharing. Very valid point. I think there's a number of very interesting points that was brought up in the chat box also. Maybe Anjulaka want to share something. She said selfless love is difficult at human level. Can you share, Akka? What do you mean?
Sairam. So what I meant here is at the human level, all of us have a sort of an intention when we carry out our love in action, whether it's for our parents, our children, our spouse, our friends, right? Everything has an intention, but the intention of love. But of course, it is for a particular purpose which is not selfless. There's definitely an intention. So when we talk about Swami's end, when we have that kind of a relationship with Swami, in that kind of friendship, it's always selfless. Reason being, there is no limits, there is no expectations, there's no disappointments. It's a different level, an unexplainable level. But at the human level, everything has got an expectation. There's an intention. Of course, at the base ground of love, but a bit hard to explain love, but it's not selfless.
Yeah. Okay, interesting thought for everybody.
Because another thing is, because we are very attached, right, with all our relationships that we have, right? So when we are attached, it's like how the glue and the paper are stuck together. But when we are with Swami, it's like a flying paper on the sky, right? So it's just flying, but it's not attached with anything. But if a glue and paper are attached together, there is some kind of I don't know how do we say that, but that's the thing that puts us together as a family or as a friendship, as everything lah. So yeah, so it's a bit hard to explain.
Just different kinds of love lah. Both are necessary in a way.
Correct. One is with measure and one is measureless.
Very interesting point. So
Right.
Mohan, hand it over
Hi,
back.
Brother Murthy, did you want to share something? You typed in the chat box, selfishness do present in us. Do you want to explain a little bit more in the context of friendship with God, Brother Murthy?
Yeah, Mohan. What I look at it as is, if you just look at Swami, last time we used to say the mantra as Loga Samasta Sukhinu Bhavatu, which means that we pray for the well-being of this entire earth, all those living, the creation by God. Okay, we pray for that. And Swami say, no, don't say Loka Samasta, because you're only praying for the well-being of this Mother Earth. There might be other life forms in another planet or in another galaxy. So let's pray Samasta Loga. That means the entire universe, we are praying for that. அப்படின்னா இந்த லோகத்துக்கு மட்டும் இல்ல, இந்த பிரபஞ்சத்துல இருக்கிற அத்தனை லோகத்துக்கும் சேர்ந்து நம்ம இந்த மந்திரத்தை சொல்றோம். So this shows how selfish we were earlier, and after the Guru reminded us, and now we are saying Samasta Loga. Okay, just we moving one step forward. So that's why God is our best friend, because there's no selfishness. Thanks.
Thank you, Brother Murthy. So, I mean, the bigger idea is for us to strive to reach closer to Swami, right? So let me go to the next slide, Hari. So here we try to compile our understanding on why we should have God as our best friend. And most importantly, this is trying to share that I mean, it's not, if you see Swami as God, then Swami as your best friend, or if you see Swami as Guru, or the Swami as the Guru as a best friend. And a lot of these answers we have shared earlier, right? And as we are trying to share with you what it does to us when we strive to have God as our best friend. First, a lot of us touched about this point about having an availability of Swami, availability of God. So what we have is we feel like we always have a support in our life. When we were small, we always look for friends and we always do things together with our friends, right? So when we do things together with our friends, we always feel happy and we feel supported and we feel courageous, right? Even doing naughty things, right? Even doing naughty things we do with our friends, we feel more courageous. Teacher probably won't catch, or we catch also, we got caught together. So what happens is when you have a friend like God who you carry around with you all the time, and you feel you have always support with you. So even through the toughest time, you're always there. And the second thing is, as you develop the faith, to Uncle Subra's point about you developing the faith and you able to connect to your inner voice. I think one of you mentioned about inner voice being a best friend. That inner voice, the conscience within you, is able to provide the right advice and guidance when you're going through this life. And in that way, it gives us confidence to go through any challenges. So whatever challenges that comes in our life, because we are guided by our inner voice and we know that we have a support, then it gives us the confidence that we can get through those challenges, however difficult it may seem. And what happens when we go through challenges? So Swami in his quotation says, everything in this world transforms, right? If you take a rock, you can transform it into a statue. You can cast an iron and transform it into a utensil. So everything in this world transforms. That is his expectation on human being also. But how human beings can transform? So similarly, if you're making jewelry with gold, you have to heat it up, you have to make it into a liquid, you have to heat it, you have to shape it and all that. So the way human beings transform is through challenges. So if we have confidence to go through challenges that I just talked about earlier, what happens is we become a better person. So with all the hitting or the shaping or the molding from Swami, that we will naturally become a better individual. So when we become better individual, what happens to everyone around us? So each of us becoming better individual becomes creates a positive change in the society. So this is actually, in a way, we are trying to share that it's not like you wake up today and say, Swami, you're my best friend, you take care of everything and you forget about it, right? It's a relationship building, right? So I think how you build relationship with Swami is you talk to him. That's the most simplest way you can reach out to him, and you rely on him and you try to strive to become closer to your friend, right? So in this case, what Swami likes, right? So if you know what Swami likes and you know what he likes, he has already mentioned about it in the 9-point code of conduct. And if you follow what he likes, then you become even closer to your friend, right? So in that way, we wanted to share here that it's not Swami as a best friend. It's a snap of a finger. It's a process, right? With any friendship, we need to build the relationship. And some of us may be in a much more advanced stage versus others, but he's always there waiting for us to start building the relationship with him. Harvin, would you like to add anything? I hope I still have Harvin in the call.
Yes, Nat. Yep. So I think Mohan and I pretty much summarized it, right? So whatever that we spoke about so far is basically a process, right? So it's one step after another. It's in a circle always. So that's what I think we should take back home.
Thank you, Harveen. So another point I wanted to make, I think I talked about we talked about Maitri, right? Past, present, and future. So because this particular friend of ours knows our past, knows our present, and knows our future, the type of advice that he provides is usually the best advice, right? Now, whether we listen to the advice or not is another question, but the type of advice that he provides us is usually the best advice because he has considered the past, the present, and the future. So with that, we want to go to the next slide, which is we want to ask your point of view now, going back to the same mentee. If you look at yourself, why Swami is your best friend? Or why God is your best friend? Can you go into the link which is just posted in the slide? And this will be the third question in the mentee. Isn't why Swami is my best friend? And it's a bit quiet. I hope you're all able to click the link, or if you're using your mobile phone, type mentee.com and type in the code 602826.
Good. We are receiving responses.
Okay, finally one response.
Right. Let me just read out some of it. He knows me better than anyone else. Nobody else can provide selfless love to me. He doesn't judge. Yes. He's always there. Yes. We spoke about this availability. He never fails to guide me in my past challenges. Yes. He never judges my thoughts. Of course. He has answers to all my questions, but it comes after some time. Okay. The answer is not immediate lah. You need to wait for it. He gives the best solution to upgrade myself. I do not need to ask, for he knows what I need and he supports at the right time. He never left me alone. He knows me the best. He's cheeky at times. Interesting to know. Ultimate until my last breath. He gives me the best. No judgment, provides selfless love. Okay, we have 21 responses so far. So I guess we have 32 people in the call. So we'll wait for some time for the rest also.
Right. As you type in the question, why Swami is your best friend, we would like to also ask you to reflect how to be the best friend for Swami. I think that is also a question, right? Of course, we know why Swami is our best friend. Now, how to be the best friend for Swami? I think that's also a question, right?
That's a
He's
question.
too cute. I like the. Sorry, Harveen?
That's a question with a challenging answer.
He is my big boss. ரொம்ப big boss பார்க்குற replay பார்க்குறீங்களோ? He tests me and lift me up. I think I saw that. Harveen,
Yeah.
Right. I think everybody pretty much have got the point that we are trying to make here. We are very glad to see that you have similar thinking, and making Swami as our best friend, as we shared earlier, it's not necessarily a decision that you make overnight, but it's a process and a sadhana that you need to take. So what we're going to do is we're going to share a little bit what Swami wants to tell us about God as our true friend. Harveen?
Yes,
You're going to play this, right?
Yeah, so we'll share the code first.
Right. So this is one of the very interesting quote we have found, as what Swami said: "Do not walk in front of me. I may not follow you. Do not walk behind me. I may not lead you. walk beside me and be my friend. Now, this quotation with the other quotation, I'm always in you, around you, above you, below you, in front of you and behind you, right? So we try to reflect on the difference and also try to understand, what is Swami trying to tell? Some of us see Swami as our father, as our mother, as a god, and some of us see Swami as our guru. But when I try to reflect that relationship versus a friendship, how do I talk to my friend? What kind of connection I have with my friend versus, I love all of them. I love my father, I love my mother, I love my friend. But the connection that I have, the openness that I have with my friend is very different. Let's say the openness that I have with my parents, right? So in my point of view, and this is my personal opinion, is Swami is telling that when we make him our friend, like this girl being Swami is holding her hand and walking beside, the intimacy becomes so close that it almost you never lose his hand, right? There's no like a difference between you and Swami, because ultimately Swami is trying to tell us you and I are one, right? So perhaps the relationship of friendship with God, or making Swami as your best friend, helps us to become even more intimate with Swami. And like some of you mentioned, you can just share anything and everything, and you can just be able to be guided for everything and anything. So with that, we want to, before we ask for your opinion, let us show what Swami tells.
Okay, I'll just stop presenting for a while and represent the screen.
Okay, so we're going to play a video, and we believe the video should be able to be viewed from the Google Meet. Now, in case you have any problems, then we will send the link shortly in the chat box. Okay, go ahead, Harvin.
You cannot always oblige, but you can speak always obligingly. Be always happy. Where is happy? Happiness is union with God. There is God. Yes? Not in this world. Not in this world. Full of water in the tank, thousands of frogs. Is no water, no frogs. Baba is not like this. Always with you, in you, around you. That is real Krishna. God is real Krishna. Yes? His friends always change. Passing clouds. Yes. Study time, many friends. After marriage, no friend.
So Swami, you heard Swami mention few things. I hope you were touched by hearing Swami's voice conversing in English. Swami says that God is real gift, right? When the water tank is full, lots of frogs are there. But when there is no water, no frogs will be there. And study time, many friends; marriage time, no friends. Perhaps those who are married can relate to that quotation. I think most importantly, he said, God is your only true friend. So anyone would like to share any reflection on what you've just heard from Swami and also this quotation before we conclude the session for the day? Were you able to hear the watch the video with the voice? I hope you were. If you were, please type in the chat box. Okay, because we were a little bit unsure whether this would be heard. So there was a story. Let me tell you a story. Swami, this was a story from Professor Anil Kumar, and basically there was a big industrialist in Andhra who was a devotee of Swami, and he was a big industrialist, so he was selling the rubber tires, right? But one day, unfortunately, there was a political riot and somebody burned the whole factory, and he lost about 200 crores of inventory. So his warehouse was burned. So he was, of course, devastated, and then he came to Puttaparthi at that time. And the first day he came, Swami didn't look at him. went past him but didn't say anything to him. The second day he went and sat in the darshan line. Swami didn't even come in front of him. The third day Swami didn't even come from darshan at all. And then the friend was very devastated. So he knew Professor Anil Kumar. So he went to Professor Anil Kumar. And then Professor Anil Kumar said, yeah, I also join and I can only give you sympathy. I'll join you and sit with you together with the darshan line. Other than sympathy, there's nothing I can give you. So it happened to be after a few days, Swami spoke to him. And Swami said that, oh, if I had spoken to you the first day when you came, you would have just burst open. Like basically Swami is telling that he was not ready, the particular devotee was not ready to listen to Swami. So that's why I waited a few days before talking to you. And then Swami said, you go home and I will take care of everything, right? So with that, this particular devotee went back and all his issues were solved and taken care of. Insurance came in and so on. And then he came back after that to thank Swami, and then he told Professor Anil Kumar, when I was well, I helped many people, but when I needed help, no one came for me. Only God helped me. Only Swami helped me, and he's the only true friend who remained with me. So that actually relates to the water tank example and the frog example. So there's one more thing that we would like to share. I hope the story inspires you to keep Swami as your true friend and your best friend. Arvind, shall we go to the next part before we end? Okay, so here we would like to get your feedback or any additional thoughts and ideas you want to share with us. Arvind, can you post the link? We would like to hear from you about today's session, as well as we would like to hear about anything that you want to hear in future online study circle, right? So this is a different code, not and the link just been posted in the chat box by Brother Naveen and Harveen. If you like to hear anything more on a specific topic, please also share here so that we can get your feedback.
There's two sets of questions. So once you have answered the first question, you can proceed to the next one.
Right. So the first question is, how would you describe today's session? Is there anything that you would like to see?
I'll just move to the next one also. Huh?
Yeah, but both questions will be open, right?
Yes, both are open.
Yeah, BFF. I think BFF is a very common what you call acronym for best friend forever. Actually, that itself should. Arvind is laughing. I think maybe he had a lot of BFFs when he was in college or school.
Oh, no.
So all of us always say, you are my BFF. I have this BFF. Actually, yes, you may have a good friend. I think no doubt. You may have a best friend, no doubt. I think the point Swami made earlier is only God is your true best friend. I think that's the key point here. Okay, so I think we got some good feedback, and I hope we did get feedback on what can be improved in future session. Okay. Okay. While you answer the question, we would like to make a dedication to all of us and to Swami. Harvin found this very nice singing from one of Swami's students. Please watch this, and please also look at the words and the interaction between Swami and this particular student. Please stay on in the call after the song so we can end the study circle with a prayer. And please listen carefully to Swami, because he will talk when the student is saying something. So it's just a 4-minute song. Just hang in there. We will be definitely done by 10:30. So Harvin, can you please play the song as a dedication? Is it possible to increase the volumes, Harvin?
ప్రియమైన బంధమా ప్రేమకు రూపమా మా అందరి ప్రాణమా ఓ నేస్తమా ప్రియమైన బంధమా ప్రేమకు రూపమా మా అందరి ప్రాణమా ఓ నేస్తమా గడిచే ప్రతి క్షణం నీతోనే గడపాలని గడిచే ప్రతి క్షణం నీతోనే గడపాలని మేము వినే పదాలన్నీ నీ మాటలే కావాలని మాలోని తలపులన్నీ నీకు వివరించా ప్రియలన్ని కర్తకే అంకితం చెయ్యాలని వేచి ఉన్నాము ఈ రోజుకై ఓ నేస్తమా ప్రియమైన బంధమా ప్రేమకు రూపమా మా అందరి ప్రాణమా ఓ నేస్తమా జీవన వేణువులో మోహనారాగం పలికించి ప్రతి మనసులో నీ ప్రేమ సుధలు పొంగించి జీవన వేణువులో జీవన వేణువులో మోహనారాగం పలికించి ప్రతి మనసులో నీ ప్రేమ సుధలు పొంగించి ఆనందముతో దివి భువి పులకించగా ఆనందముతో దివి భువి పులకించగా ఆనందముతో దివి భువి పులకించగా మాటలాడవా ఓ నేస్తమా ప్రియమైన బంధమా ప్రేమకు రూపమా మా అందరి ప్రాణమా ఓ నేస్తమా ఆ ఆ
Sairam. So we hope you all were really touched by the dedication from the student in terms of his singing and the touching meaning of the particular song. So with that in our heart, we would like to bring our online study circle to a conclusion. So if you are looking for a best friend, you know where to find, you know how to find, you know why you should find. So don't look too long. And if you're really looking for a best friend forever, he's just waiting for you to call him. Okay. With that, I pass it back to Brother Naveen. And we will also share this link later, both the link of this particular song as well as the interaction between Swami in the interview room, and so that you can watch it again. Naveen, you are there?
Sairam, Anna. Thank you so much, Mohan Anna and Harvin Rao. I think that was a very, very beautiful closing to the entire session. And I think after this, we have no more excuses but to have Swami as our best friend. Definitely the one and only friend who is always there for us. Sometimes we find it difficult to look for him. We find it difficult to listen to him. We find it difficult to feel him. But rest assured, he is always, always, always there. And the reason why we are here at this present time is only because of him. And that itself, I think, is a testament to a best friend. Okay, thank you very much for all of you all for being here. Om Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.